Bethany Funke? Bethany Funke? This Bethany Funke right here, she don't want to go to the damn trial. She don't want to go to the court. She was in the house where all those stabbings happened. They stabbed and killed the shit out of, what, 3 people? They think it's at Coburger, but I guess we're going to find a probable cause hearing, which is a preliminary hearing. Interesting, when you stab the shit out of a whole bunch of people, you get a preliminary, probable cause hearing. But they're asking her to go to the probable cause hearing because do they have probable cause to convict that Brian Coburger? Do they even have probable cause to arrest him? Do they even have any goddamn evidence whatsoever that connects him to the goddamn stabbings? They say that she's got exculpatory evidence. She's got exculpatory. So you're in the house with a whole bunch of stabbings? Yeah, you got to go to trial. No, you was in the house where a whole bunch of stabbings happened. 3 people were murdered. You know what usually doesn't happen on a day-to-day basis? 3 people in the house in Moscow, Idaho, they don't get stabbed out, the students, just regular students going to school and shit. People just generally don't get stabbed in their fucking sleep. And you was in the same house. It's a 3-story house. I get it. Apparently she was in the basement and apparently she didn't see nothing. That's what we're hearing. But we hear that she's got exculpatory evidence. So which is it? Bethany Funke is going to come upstairs and discover the carnage. So she was in the basement or the first story or some shit. So she didn't hear nothing, didn't see nothing until after the fact, after the cops. And there was one person that saw like his physique, his eyebrows. So there's Dylan, whatever, some other witness. So not her. She didn't see, we haven't heard anything so far that I've heard that Bethany Funke has actually seen or heard anything. But even that, in Colorado, victims' rights, there's victims' rights statutes and then there's definitions. And under the victims' rights definitions, a witness is a person that has evidence or doesn't have evidence. And I know that's Colorado, but let's just use common sense, right? We're all Americans, and so we all have a right to a jury trial. And so, hey, Bethany Funke, do you have evidence? Did you see anything? Okay, then go testify to that fact. And now she does have a Fifth Amendment privilege. She could say, she pleads the Fifth. Now, I think that slices 2 different ways. Pleading the Fifth is kind of bullshit, right? When you're trying to run a fucking court and you're trying to get some justice, you need people telling the goddamn truth. We need to know what the fuck you know. But we have Fifth Amendment privileges, which means you have a right to remain silent if you think that the answer to the question will connect you to some crimes. Now that's interesting. If she gets up there and pleads the Fifth, she totally has a right to do. She probably could quash it on that. Now I'm just going to plead the Fifth on everything. And not because she's connected to it, but because the way that you're investigating, you'll try to find some connection that's not there. She could probably do that. Now, I think it slices 2 ways because you want a witness to tell everything and anything that they know, but you have Fifth Amendment privilege. And so if you are a part of some shit, then you have a right to remain silent. So I think it looks bad. And I like truthful, honest people, upfront and upright people, but that's me. A lot of people aren't upfront and honest. And I think she's fled. She's like gone to fucking Nevada or some shit. So yeah, Bethany Funke, you're trying to quash. There's a stabbing. Frankly, the way I look at the whole thing is, you want to know what happened that day, right, in Moscow, Idaho. 3 stabbings, right? How many people were killed? One of the 2 housemates who survived is fighting a subpoena. And I hear that, she's in Washoe County, Nevada. So she went to Nevada. She was up in Idaho, and now she's in Nevada. Is she running away from the case? Is she running away from this shit? I mean, they'd probably get a bunch of attention, right, from the media and whatever. And, nobody wants to subpoena, so I don't really hate her for, getting a lawyer or whatever and trying to quash the subpoena. There's also other ways that you could testify. You could testify by phone. You could testify by video. If she is the prosecution's witness, then however they could get her testimony into the court is the way to do it. Now, if they're going to try to, flip the script on Bethany, then they're going to want to try to pull her in. And if she's going to say Fifth Amendment, make her say Fifth Amendment to 100 questions. One of the two survivors in the house, both of the survivors have to go. So I want everybody that was there that night and the day before to go to the trial. If you have any kind of evidence, if you know anything about anything, that's victims' rights in Colorado. If you don't have information, you're still a witness. Hey, did you see anything? No. Okay, well, we got to at least ask you that question. And then once we find out that you say no, okay, well, then that leads nowhere. But if you say yes, here's something, then that could provide a lead, and that could, in order to paint the whole picture up, every perspective that you add adds to the whole. And not just the day before, but like the week before. So anybody that knows anything about anything should go to the trial. And maybe tell the court or the prosecution, hey, I should be a witness because I know about the bank statements or something. So they're saying that Bethany Funke, she has information that's unique to her experiences. They also said something about this is just a hearing. This isn't the trial. So does she have to be, is it mandatory for her to have compulsory to show up to the thing? It's a hearing, not a trial. Four victims. So there's 4 people who were stabbed to death. And yeah, you see 6 of them. And the 2 people in the end survived. And then the 4 people in the middle all died. And it is weird that you had 4 people were stabbed to death. And one person saw something and the other person just slept soundly. Are you just a heavy sleeper? Is that room soundproof? You didn't hear any screams? Were there no screams? I mean, people do sleep. But it would be baffling to me. She came upstairs and saw the carnage, but it would be baffling to me to hear that Bethany Funke absolutely knew nothing. Who were people hanging out with the day before? Who were some of the weird? What were some of the issues? What was the landlord, the neighbors like? Bethany Funke can tell a lot about a lot. Now, Koberger's hearing is scheduled for the week of June 26th. The suspect has yet to enter a plea. Still hasn't entered a plea.